All right, well, let's talk about the Arizona Bowl. Okay, Miami, Ohio versus Colorado State. Two teams finishing near the top of their respective conferences. Colorado State, a late loss in the season, kind of pushed them out of the Mountain West Conference Championship picture there, but they finished third in the Mountain West. And Miami, Ohio, lost in the championship game in the MAC to Ohio. And before that game, I thought Brett Gabbert had played really good football. I really did. And I just, maybe it's a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. When we're looking at the quarterback matchup here, Brett Gabbert, Braden Fowler, Nicolosi, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? I think it's I think I would say it's closer to even. I'd probably give the slight edge to Braden Fowler and Nicolosi, but if Brett Gabbert plays like he did the second half of that Max season, I think I would give the edge to them.
Yes, yes. And now I think preseason, I think it would be a lot larger gap than there is. Well, with the way Gabbert responded from the injury, right, and also with the way that Colorado State has really leaned on the running game. I get it, when your best player and the second best player in your conference, ends up not playing a lot of football, it changes how you're going to be. And that's Torrey Horton, wide receiver for Colorado State. They had 433 rushing attempts, right? At Colorado State did. That is a ton. They only had 345 passing attempts, right? You go back to Miami, Ohio, and they were 374 passing attempts, 379. So just about exactly 50-50 split there, run pass. Colorado State leans on the run a little bit more. The good news for Miami, Ohio is they're good defense in both ways, right? Top half in both rush defense and pass defense. A little bit better in pass defense. I think part of that is the statistical profile that is the MAC conference, right, which leans more on running the football and also just less, high flying passing offenses you don't quite see, and where you'll see a little bit more in the Mountain West, which has led to Colorado State's pass defense being 102nd, right, for a team that went 7-1 in their conference, right, who had, albeit a tough out of conference schedule. You lost to Texas, you lost to your rival Colorado, you lost to Oregon State, right, who on the road there was playing a lot of Mountain West teams this year. So all the things considered, you did a lot of okay things this year, and you made it. You won the games you were supposed to win, right? You won 8-4. Like you said, that late loss to Fresno State kept you out of the Mountain West Championship game. But I don't know. I just think the defense has not had a ton of sack production either. Your leading tackler, Jock, is in the portal. Boom, Jock. The starting defensive end is gone. I think both of them, right? While Kalonji and Gatuaf. So it could be tough here. Tough sledding for Colorado State. I like Miami, Ohio here. Are we picking it? We picking it at 3 right now?
We're picking it at 2.5. I'm pretty sure.
Thank you. I will take Miami, Ohio with that. The hook is going to be nice because we've seen these close games. They get really tough now. If we have another overtime game where they get into the third and fourth overtime, it's ridiculous. It is. It's actually kind of a bad thing in terms of how to pick a winner. But regardless, so yeah, I like Miami, Ohio here. Defensively, they'll get some stops in the run. And, I think Colorado State, too, their defense, might miss some guys. And also, it's just not great statistically either.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll take Miami, Ohio here too, but I know you feel a lot better about it. I don't feel great about it, right? I do think that Colorado State's going to try to run the ball, and I think Miami, Ohio matches up well with that, right? And you might look at the injuries, like is Moreau and Marshall, are they going to be healthy, right? You might look at them and be like, well, gosh, if those two guys are hurt, like who's going to be in there, right? Who's going to be in there? Uh, I think you got a couple decent options. I do think that Jalen Dupree is pretty solid. All right. I think he's pretty solid. He's coming in here 2024 and 2022 in high school, right? So however many years ago that was. Uh, 2,800 yards, 41 touchdowns, average almost 10 yards per carry. He's kind of dual threat out of the backfield. And for a team that's relied heavily on the ground, this guy also, too, on the season's averaging like 6 yards a carry, albeit on limited sample size. I think he's solid, right? He might not end up getting the bell. He might not get the call, right? Because Marshall and or Morrow might be healthy, but I'm not too concerned if those two players aren't necessarily healthy, if that makes sense. So I don't know, man. So I know it's a limited sample size. and I don't know his full story. Although all I know is that I'm okay with the running backs that are behind Morrow and Marshall. As good as those two guys are, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, they're going to need to be in this game here. Also, to play a little devil's advocate here for Miami, Ohio, they're also missing guys. They're also missing some really good receivers on the offense side of the ball. Javon Tracy, more of your alpha, number one possession X receiver. He's in the portal going to Minnesota. You got Reggie Virgil, right? Maybe a little bit more dynamic, average 20 yards per catch, heading down to Texas Tech, where he's going to be joined by, right, your left tackle, Will Jados, who's also going to Texas Tech. Those are going to be some guys that you might miss. And if you're going to Brett Gabbert, you got Cade McDonald, right? And you got Mosey out of the backfield, and then not a lot of, real production and experience there. So we'll see how they lean on offensively and how they get it done, because Gabbert's going to have to play well, and they're going to have to run the ball well, because Mosey, obviously has been a focal point of their offense all season long, but especially without those receivers, Tracy, Virgil, a couple all MAC guys, could really hurt this Miami Ohio football team.
yeah, it's crazy too. Like Tracy gone for Miami. I'm pretty sure like their leading receiver has left. Right, like in each given season, I think the last 5 years or 4 years. I think it's 4 years because you had Sorensen, Hippenhammer, then you had kid that went to South Carolina that we love.
Gage
Yep,
Larmene.
Gage, and then you had Tracy. Yeah, Gage Larverdane, and then you had Tracy. So, yeah, pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. The turnover,
I guess they're
for
used
personnel
to
in the MAC is, yeah, I guess they're used to it. So I don't know. Next man up, baby. So yeah, more so. I'll just reiterate this one more time. The matchup, right, of Colorado State trying to run the ball in this defense. I don't love it for them. Right. I don't know how many points Miami Ohio is going to be able to score with, like you said, these weapons out. Although I do know that I think Brett Gabbert can play good football in this game and against this defense particularly. Even though, yeah, no, it has been a great defense, to be honest, for Colorado State. I mean, last year they coming off the Utah State game where they just got, kind of annihilated. Mikey Keene looked good. Fresno State a couple weeks back. So, yeah, I'm with you. Miami, Ohio, -2.5. Let's not think too hard about it, I guess.
Real quick here to finish up. Obviously, if you're still watching, right, first of all, make sure you subscribe. What are you doing, right? If you're watching Colorado State versus Miami, Ohio right now, listen to us. You're going to want to subscribe, see what we have in the future. But if you are betting or if you want to watch this game, right, it's on the CW network. So make sure that you're checking that before you're trying to figure out, flip through the channels, what's going on there. Why isn't this game on? But yeah, so you don't miss it, and also make sure you can watch it. But so it's kind of wild. Good for CW for getting a bowl game. I know they've been the ACC had some games on the CW, and I don't know if the Mountain West did as well. But I know they've had some couple college football games all season long. So make sure that you're on top of that, because Saturday there's 8 bowl games. So you've got some on ABC, you've got some on CW, some on ESPN. So make sure you're keeping track of your remote in the channels as well.